Alright, so I'm back to do in the Hall of the Sea King. And I'm down in the lower area. I already grabbed the chest that was up there that I had gotten from the time trial. And I'm going to go check out this area now. And I triggered something. Is this the stage you spoke of earlier, Os? And are Parmine's eyes deceiving her, or is the moral on top still moving? It's kind of spooky. That terrifying pirate couldn't be escaping from here, could it, Os? Hey, Os? Os? Are you spacing out? Meow? Ahem, my apologies. I was distracted for a moment. Did you once perform on this stage? Is that why you're feeling, nostalgic or something? Perhaps you were an audience member. Oh, good point. I might have, or I might not. It was all in the past, either way. Utterly irrelevant. What matters now is the scent of discord I smell in the air, as though some presence, one that makes me uneasy, once visited this place. I fear that specifics may only be discerned once we have performed the score here. There's one here too? Paimon didn't notice. Well, you may have seen scores shaped like strings, but you have not seen those shaped like murals. One such is before you. Oh, so the pictures are moving because it's actually a score? Yes. Did you not find a blank score before? It is time now to perform it. Please do the honors. Before I do that, are you to fight me? If so, not yet. Okay. The treasure chest. That's probably for completing the thing. Let's take the stairs. Check the other side. Oh, look, there's a Hydroculus. Let's go get it. You know what? The theme for this kind of reminds me of the old DOS game, Loom. I actually played that. Wasn't very good at it. I actually had to have the thing show me it. Like, I couldn't play the game without the notes being revealed. Oh, look, a treasure chest.
And now I'll make it all disappear.
There was something up here I
Just
apparently
kidding.
tried to grab and missed it? Question mark. And that one's the one I already got. Okay. Don't notice anything else, so let's go ahead and do this score thing. But first... Oh, can we pet you here? Can we pet you? Pet! Okay, let's see. Do you like the ears this time? Yes, you do. Both ears. Do you like the chest? Nope, not happy with that. Face. Oh, you like the face this time. Oh, you like the paws. What about your back? Nope, still nope for the back. How about the tail? Nope, still nope for that. Alright, you seem to really like the paws. You're purring. Purring. Alright. That's enough petting the kitty cat. Install. Not only do we have the same hardy skin, but in our veins flows the same divine essence. We share the same wisdom and melody, the same will. Whoa, someone's coming out of the mural. It has been too long, dear friend. How many years since that day? 500? Thousands? Still, time matters not to us at all. You may be in this small body now, but I recognize you in an instant. Well, have you tired of battle and decided to take up rat catching as a new hobby? It's you. And what is he exactly? A monster? A ghost? Or could he be the real Dark Lord? Dark Lord? Ha! Barbarians remain barbarians, I see. ignorant even of their own ignorance. Beothamus of Remeria, am I. Foremost Harmos of Phobos. You need not introduce yourselves. I have no interest in the titles peddled by primitives. You know this rude fellows? I do not deny it, but... Need you be so formal? Cassador, do our years of service under our Sabatos, our god, matter so little to you? The past is past. I do not know how you, whose soul has long been shattered, have manifested, but it seems that the chaotic symphony is your doing, and none other. Cease. Return the souls of those who live in the present, and go back to the shadows beneath the deep waters, to where you belong. This is my final warning to you. Oh, and what then? Will you continue wearing your mask of hypocrisy, traitor? Will you shut your eyes and ears for another millennium? But you have noticed, haven't you, why my melody would break its bonds at this time and affect the present? Why, my strength has given me the might to open the gate to the deep waters, allowing me to manifest. The power of the sea surges, Cassador. The return of Phobos is imminent. Phobos. Yes, indeed. Over these thousands of years, I have finally bound my soul to the shattered Phobos. The omniscient enigma, the great power, is about to finally descend once again, and is this not the wish that we once failed to accomplish? To repeat the past is to give the ancient tragedy an encore, nor have I ever wanted to sacrifice innocent lives. Is that so? Well, not that it matters, Cassador. The world you have defended is coming apart at the seams. The people of bygone times you see before you shall return to their rightful places. Fontaine's existence is a mistake, one we shall correct. When the oceans swallow it, Remeria shall rise above the sea once again, and its light shall shine over the land. Is this because of the primordial sea? Do even barbarians know of its existence nowadays? You are the mistaken one. We should have assimilated into this new nation thousands of years ago, but it was you who warped them into puppets of ancient hate. Whether that Phobos matter is true or false, as long as my will has not dissipated, your schemes will not succeed. Do you mean to say, then, that we should abandon our honor as Remarians and degenerate into mere base insects? How could I ever allow my kin to return those bags of decaying flesh and become slaves to fate once more? It seems that the millennia have not led you to accept Remere's downfall. If anything, you have grown more obstinate still. Perhaps it is in our stubbornness alone that we are quite similar. I thought that the long years would have rendered you willing to once more stand by our side. You betrayed the tribe that birthed you, and you betrayed Remeria. You may have become the Golden Hunter, but you cannot remove the brand of the Sabatos that marks you still. You will always be a Remarian. Remarians have long ceased to exist, save in your delusions. The world of old has passed away. Of course, of course. Or so it was meant to be. But now the border between past and present has faded. If you insist on becoming the enemy of our ancient realm, and sealing me once more in a cage buried beneath the waves, then those Fontanians you wish to protect, yes, all of Petrachars shall be buried as one. Huh? No way. We won't let that happen. It is not up to you, insolent savage. When that time comes, your lowly flesh will be rendered as dust, but your souls will join with ours and take the next step of evolution. We shall bestow upon you eternal, resilient bodies, that you may never again suffer mortal pain. Should you have words of gratitude, I will hear them. You've got to be kidding me. That's not something we'd be thankful for at all. Just like those puppets who danced as you performed, those pitiful slaves and servants, those poor children, everything was stripped from them, and you still speak with such conviction? All things have their price. Narrow personal opinions are but refused to be discarded by a higher class of beings such as I. Besides, as I see it, they are the ideal form of humanity, adhering unerringly to perfect order. You're absolutely nuts. And despicable, too. Despicable. Ha! And what would you call that Cassiodor did to us thousands of years ago, then? By comparison, this is nothing. Ha ha! But patience. We should have a good, long talk. But not here. No. We shall speak beneath the deep waters, in the deepest bowels of our ancient realm, where everything began. The realm awakens, Cassiodor. You are the sole survivor of our fallen kingdom, the sole Romarian left with free will, and you have left us for far too long. You must return to us and listen to lamentations and anger of the long years. Perhaps then you shall be more receptive to my symphony and to the arrangement of Phobos. I'll await you in the royal city of Romaria and Domos Aurea, where the Sabatos played his melody. I will, of course, extend the appropriate hospitality to those souls from the present before your arrival. Should you still remain resolute when the time comes, their souls will naturally receive their release. As for you, you are not part of Phobos's plan, and yet the great symphony shall in no wise the great symphony shall in no wise cast out an audience. Do enjoy the passing prelude as I have prepared for you. Or prelude. Prelude, whatever. If fortune proves favorable, we shall meet again. We're about to be attacked, aren't we? Yep, I knew it. I called it.
Solidify!
Orders given. Orders received. Wheel of life. Over here!
Clever trick. Now disappear.
Order guide you.
Let's get this show on the road.
Rise. Surprise!
Yep, I knew it.
Life goes on.
I will have order. Gather!
Cue the spotlight! Zip on us!
Here comes the finale.
Opening box of Adepti tricks. Rise.
Solidify!
Step right up.
Well, that shut him up. What do we do now, though? If we want to save the souls of the townspeople, we're going to have to head to that Domius Aria of whatever that super duper arrogant guy talked about, right? As you might recall, we weren't invited. Since when have we ever needed invitations to crash some bad guy's party? Oh, right. But from what he said, he seemed to have known Os for a long time. Said they worked for the Sabatos or whatever? we need to have a good talk before we go. Cassiodor, if you have anything you'd like to ask me, this time I shall tell you all I know. I really don't want to read all this text. Whatever. Tell us about Remeria. That's where you and that rude fellow are both from, right, Os? We've heard that name before. That's true. We heard about Remeria back in the fortress of Meripede. Apparently it was ruled by a god named Remus? Remus? The story said Remus rode his big ship around and conquered all of Fontaine, but that's as much as Paimon knows. Very well, the story begins before the car of Fontaine as you know it was born. The Sabatos Remus founded a nation above the high sea that is Fontaine, and the ancestors of the present-day Fontainians named him the Dark Lord Remus in their terror. Before it sank, this body of water was part of the great Fontaine Lake and the locations where the capital of Remeria was sited. As such, these waters have the same properties as those of Fontaine. Wait, so we're actually in the ruins of Remeria now? Indeed. But where the tale differs from commonly told history is the people of Remeria were not ordinary humans like the Fontainians. Rather, they were a new race. Their bodies were cast of stone with ichor for blood. The Sabatos gave such bodies in the hopes that we could escape our prison of rotting flesh and fate. His great vision was that we should all grasp the power of the symphony and thereby escape the shackles of Fortuna, becoming the masters of our own destiny. So those stone statues we saw on the way here, those were your kin? Precisely so. I fear that they have long lost their free will. However, becoming mindless slaves, worse off by far than the humans of old, easily perishable though they are. Wait, in that case, why are you a cat? I'm a cat, for now. And one's will and soul are more important than one's body, are they not? Regardless, it was the Sabatos who gave me new life. We once possessed all of the high sea, countless cities and palaces, flowers flowing wine, and yet fate found us all the same. After returning from the deepest part of the sea, Sabatos used ichor to create imperishable bodies for the people, and still, the prophesied future did not change. Our God King believed that it was because human souls could not escape the gravity of fate, and so he wrote the symphony, a music that could weave destiny. He believed that through this he had found a way to resist fate, but instead the path that led us into utter darkness step by step. And in the end, the entire kingdom sank beneath the waves, as though it had been smote by just divine judgment. No. I fear that even he did not foresee such an outcome, though all the same, that is what happened. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, this time I shall tell you all I know. I'm not going to repeat that each time. So tell me about your impudent friend. Right. He called you Cassiodor or something, right? But aren't you called Oran or something? Just as I have traversed many bodies, I have had many names. Of course, this is all thanks to the Sabatos, who separated my soul from the great symphony. A convenient ability indeed. But back to Boethius. He was not always evil. He was once a noble Harmost of Remeria, and the sole survivor following the great catastrophe that befell. The original purpose of the Golden Castellum was to unify our surviving kin and prevent the catastrophe of the rising waters from ever occurring again. But evidently, Boethius had his own designs. While I and my companions ranged across the land, struggling mightily to contain the power of the primordial waters, he used his eloquent tongue to sway those who remained. He initiated a full ritual that aimed to restore the shattered symphony and revive the ruined realm. To this end, he did not hesitate to dissolve the will of our kin and plunder the souls of Fontainians everywhere. Many rulers and nobles became his pawns, and polities, whatever, newly born, lay on the brink of destruction. To stop him, we had by now clearly become a monster. Who had now completely become Squadra. I could only forsake my name and become one who hunts phantoms, resisting him against the Fontanians, alongside the Fontanians. Bitter was the conflict before we were at last able to seal both him and the seed that had devoured our nation. And that is why he names you a traitor. I followed the Sabatos precisely because he had shown me that golden dream, a land where prejudice and indifference were no more, a land of justice and freedom. But that was what it had become after Remarius sank, no more than a dream. I would rather be called a traitor than let Boethius trample on our ideals. I swore upon fate that I would serve as the barrier between past and present. Thus I become the spirit keeper of our ancient land. Guess Mr. Impolite's a pretty stubborn guy, huh? Even after being beaten up and sealed, he's still looking to break out and cause trouble. I had thought that even if evil lingered in him, his soul had long been broken, and he would remain naught but discordant notes as a symphony plunged into strife. Never thought that he would weave his shattered self into the symphony and thus gain mastery over it. The discord and dissonance that now emanates from these waters can be regarded as an extension of his power. If we are to defeat him, I fear we must wait the moment when his soul fragments have gathered around one body. If you have anything else you like, I'm not going to repeat that. Let's hear about the Symphony in Phobos. Where should I even begin? The symphony is human memory and persona woven into a melody through musical notation, creating a song in which human souls can dwell and have their wishes fulfilled. In that way, to master the symphony is to master fate. This is the secret that the great golden bee Sibylla, the prophet who survived the previous cycle, imparted. The Sebestos who created the symphony poured these melodies into the insoluble ichor in hopes that all might control their own fates through playing that music. He overestimated us, I fear, for his deeds terrified us. The people could not bear the burden of fate, and they begged their god and superiors for guidance. At the request of the people, the Sebestos wrote all melodies into the grandest of melodies, and this new symphony would bring us all the greatest of happiness. Its name was Phobos. But it did not bring what was promised. Indeed, you saw how it all ended, didn't you? Had the Sebestos' plan worked, the symphony would have woven a melody of utmost gentleness for us all, an eternity that would last 1,000 years and beyond. But something went wrong. Besides the Sebestos himself, only said superiors, the Harmos, could have changed Phobos' melody. And Boethius was once an excellent Harmost. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, this time I shall tell you. Damn it, I did it again. So about the dreamscape I saw. You tell the strange dream you saw before. Ah, yes. Those were indeed the memories left by he whom I served, the Sebestos, the god king Remus. Though I do not understand how you were able to see them, traveler. But I do not think you need to worry. If this chaotic symphony was enough to control you, it would have done so long ago on the surface. But that has not happened, yes? Speaking of which, why isn't Este affected? Is he just, specially gifted? I do have some idea, but it might be best to wait for the right time to speak of that. Oh, here we go again with the cliffhangers. Just don't forget to tell us, alright? In any case, since you can see these things, traveler, that means that some fragment of the Sebestos' will and memory remains in this underwater symphony. Long millennia have I searched, and if you could touch some more of these memories, perhaps I may find the answers I have sought all this time. The great waves could not hurt a god, even should their crests scrape the very skies, and yet the Sebestos disappeared without a trace when our nation fell into the depths. He would not have sat idly by as his nation and people drowned in blood. So where did he go? Or was his passing Remaria's true death keel? Okay. Can I? Oh, don't tell me I'm having connection issues again. Okay, no, it was just taking its time. Very well. If there's anything else, do not hesitate to ask me. Guess we're heading to Domos Aria next, so we can meet that rude guy, right? It's going to be dangerous for sure, but I will continue to guide you. It is, after all, my homeland. Though it may have sunk to the very bottom of the sea, remember its paths still, even after all these millennia. Or so I believe. Cat's out of the bag. Should we encounter difficulties, you may count on me. Do not forget that I am far stronger than an ordinary cat. You know, every time Paimon remembers that you're actually an ancient person from thousands of years ago, it just feels wrong that we're calling you Os, but your full name is way too long. So, okay, let's just call you Monsieur Os then. What do you think? Is it polite enough? A name to me is nothing more than a label, but as this represents your acknowledgement, Paimon, I will gladly accept it. Let's move out. It wouldn't be too bad to keep your rude friend waiting, but the townspeople can't wait that long. And that ends that quest line. So that happened. We never actually got to do the thing in order to open up the treasure chest, but I've already completed my daily stuff for this. And like I said, it's the end of the quest segment. So, yeah, that's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys later.